This is Amani with Build Brothers, starting my digital inspection for a realtor in the El Cajon area. And we always like to start underneath the eaves just to get an idea of the condition of the wood. The eaves consist of, we have the fascia, we have the rafter tails, and then we have the starter boards. And something I wanted to point out right off the bat is that step and counter flashing, also known as Z-bar. You can see that this has a little bit of an opening, so that's an area of concern because anytime it rains and that wind is going to push that water up and under the roofing material. And we do have a damaged wooden block right here as well. And then something I wanted to note, there's actually active bird nests right here in this corner. So definitely want to get that area blocked off. That would be my recommendation, so no critters can get up and under there. But what we're looking at here is a architectural asphalt shingle roof, and this roof does have drip edge. It's that metal flashing that goes along the fascia board. Anytime it rains, it allows that water to freely flow off and not soak into the wood. We do have a lot of repair areas on this roof as well. I'll go ahead and point those out as I see them. Another thing I saw, looks like something might have been dragged in the past, because this completely stripped all of the granules off this shingle. So you can start to see that fiberglass, and again, this is just raw material that has been completely stripped down. You can get a good look at that. And we do see a lot of granule loss on this roof. So basically what happens over years, these oils begin to evaporate underneath the sun and those granules start to fall off, and that's when we start to see the fiberglass show through. And this greatly affects the waterproofing capability of the product. Another red flag that we see on these ridge caps are exposed nail heads. So those are active leaks. Anytime it rains, that water is going straight through those holes. And you can see on this part, there's quite a bit of granule loss as well. Something interesting I noticed too, we have one layer of shingle on the front facing sections, and then on the back sections we actually have what you call an overlay. So there's two layers of shingle on just the back facing sections. Again, you can see that fiberglass starting to shine. Looking this way, we have a torch down section in the middle, and we have a small cricket to divert that water to each side. You can see that this is a repair area, and the product is very loose in these areas, right? We try to stay away from shingle repairs just because it leaves the product vulnerable for the future. So we try to avoid those. We have some mastic. We have two what looks like deleted penetrations. Another thing I noticed is these nails are actually exposed. So you have a ton of exposed nail heads on this roof. Normally what you want to put with those exposed nail heads is mastic. We can see a ton on this roof plane as well. We actually have screws right here, and then these are all exposed nail heads. So again, anytime it rains, that water's going straight through that hole. So that's not good. More mastic repair. And again, you can see the overlay, the difference. You can see the ridge caps are actually raised. I'm not sure what kind of buildup is under there. But we have more mastic repair and more exposed nail heads. Now making our way to the back. A very common thing we come across on these roof inspections are satellite dishes that are no longer in use. So red flag to us is when these satellite dishes are actually bolted into the roofing material itself. Similar to the exposed nail heads, we have exposed bolts, and that's not going to do anything good for the waterproofing capability of this roof. We have another one over here, same thing. It's bolted right in the roofing material. And also wanted to take a look at the chimney. Chimney are always sensitive areas for rain and water to get into, and you can see that this flashing is actually separated, leaving this small gap opening. And there are a ton of exposed nail heads on this flat section. You can see every couple inches are about a foot apart. There's an exposed nail head, and same thing on the perimeter. So this roof is failing as of now. So a lot of red flags on this roof. It's definitely aged, and we're seeing signs of an unprofessional install. We see a ton of exposed nail heads, a lot of critical parts on this roof where essentially it is completely exposed to the rain. So my recommendation would be to completely redo this roof and start with new, right? We're an Owens Corning preferred contractor, so our shingles come with a 50-year product warranty, and we actually back that with a lifetime workmanship. And what we want to do is tear this down to the wood decking, address any rotten wood that needs to get replaced. That gets done on a discovery basis, okay? And ideally for the flat sections, right, we have the middle and then we have the back. We like a product called TPO. TPO is a synthetic material. It's used on a lot of commercial buildings. It does a very good job standing up against the UV rays, so it keeps the area cool. It prevents algae growth, and it essentially is a superior product at keeping that water out long-term on flat sections. So that would be my professional recommendation for this roof given its current condition. So I'll get this out. Thank you.